Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching Sit Down. Thomas John is here with us. The Thomas John Experience on CBS All Access. What's up, man? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. So you've built out this life and career as a psychic medium. A lot of people are familiar with your work. People come to your shows all over the country. What was it like creating this show and kind of connecting with people in a different way?
The show is really about me connecting with people in really showing the way that I work and traveling around the country, which is obviously something that I do a lot. I do different events everywhere. And so the great thing about the show is it was really focused on the readings and the work. And it really kind of, fit along with what I normally do anyways. And so, yeah, it was pretty interesting. And I really enjoyed just being able to put it all together.
I watched your Chicago episode and you're doing the whole ride sharing thing and you're catching people in this moment where they may not even be anticipating this really emotional experience. So what was it like kind of getting people on the run and even just emotionally connecting with people when they're not expecting?
Yeah, I mean, that was interesting. That was kind of the social experiment part of it. And I think that the reason why we wanted to do that, or why that was important, is because I wanted to reach people that normally maybe wouldn't be open to having a reading. And of course, a lot of the times I do an event or I do a workshop, and a lot of those people are already, they're already open to having a reading. They already want to have a reading. And so this was really connecting with people that maybe they're not normally looking for a reading and stuff. So it was kind of reaching like a whole different group of people.
What was the biggest surprise of doing the whole show?
I guess probably one of the bigger surprises was that some people really did not know about mediums. Some people really had never even had an experience with a medium. They didn't even understand, what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that that was pretty, that was kind of interesting that people, just some people just have never had that experience. So it was interesting to see them kind of process that or understand that, or, what they thought about that.
Obviously, this is an everyday thing for you, but when people have these really big emotional reactions, are you just used to it at this point? Because it's like people are crying, people are delving into their past. Like, what's it like for you to be able to see somebody tap into that while you're just kind of doing your job?
One of the things with my readings is that I don't. I sort of have a way that I connect spiritually with people where I'm kind of not allowed to actually have an emotional reaction. When I first started to do readings, um, I would always have these, emotional kind of sad reactions. And so basically what I kind of came up to an agreement with my spirit guides was that when I do my readings, that part of my soul and my personality is kind of taken out of the situation. And I do that basically because that way when I'm doing a reading, it doesn't affect it. If I was to get emotional in every reading, it would almost sort of it would affect the reading in a negative way, and it would kind of make the reading less clear. So I really ask for clarity and for that emotional side of me to not really, and I'm really tuning in more at the spiritual level. But of course, I recognize that, a reading, I think, can be very helpful for certain people. And I think that it can really help people maybe have a different perspective or get closure or get answers to things that they normally would not have received. So I definitely think that that part of it is really important. There's kind of a very sacred aspect of things. But yeah, so I definitely know that.
So when did you do your first reading? Like, it must have been a pretty epic spiritual journey for you. Like, why don't we wind things back? When did this all start? And when did you realize you kind of had the ability to do this?
Well, when I was 4 years old, and 5 years old, I started to have visitations from my grandfather. And of course, at that time, I didn't know that that was um, anything that was really that different. I just thought like, oh, that's just. I don't remember being scared by it. I didn't feel it was unusual in any way. As I got older, I realized that, and I started to go to school and make friends. I realized that not everybody, has that part of their mind, their brain kind of turned on. And so I recognized that it was very different. And that was kind of the next step with things. and sharing with my parents and stuff, who really didn't understand it, really didn't get it. And then as I got older, really through when I was younger, I kind of just started to ignore it. It didn't really go away, but I didn't focus on it so much because I kind of got this feedback from my environment and my friends and social situations and my family. I kind of got this environment, this feedback that, well, this is not something to talk about. Don't be
Mhm.
talking about, that. Because every time I brought it up, people would get scared, people would get upset. The teachers would call my parents. As I got older, I started to go on a spiritual journey and kind of study spirituality. And that did open it up again for me in kind of a more comfortable and safe place. And I still, even though I had kind of rediscovered it, I was not intending on giving readings, but I kept getting called back to that. I chose to develop it more, open it up more, and really kind of work with my spiritual gift.
What was the tipping point for you in terms of realizing it's like not only is this something I can do, but this is something I can really make a career out of, meet people all over the country, and even have my own show with it?
Well, I think once I started to, as I was saying, you get back on my path as I got older, and I started to really, I actually kind of came back to spirituality because I was not really happy in my life, and I wanted to I was looking for answers and kind of just open to that perspective, see if I could kind of get some answers in that way. And so I kind of found spirituality as a lens to do that. And then I started to practice with it, and I realized that, as I was practicing with it and stuff, I would know things about people. I would sense things about people. I would sense their relatives around them and things like that. And so because of that, I was able to connect and tune in and feel things and stuff. And so as I shared that, it kind of became pretty clear to me that I was going to have to sort of make a choice. There were so many people to help, and I had to focus on this. I had to, self care. I had to take classes to um, expand my gifts. I had to spend a lot of time and energy with this. And so it became clear to me, I wouldn't be able to have like another job or something like that if I was going to give readings. I mean, it just wouldn't work, and so in order for me to do the best work that I can do, I would have to focus on this full time.